Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has arrived in the United States for a 4-day visit, which will culminate with a state dinner in his honour at the White House. But the PM already has one eye on his next overseas trip to China next month. Here's our political editor, Andrew Clennell. He's travelling with the Prime Minister. I caught up with him a short time ago. The Prime Minister's just arrived in Washington. Andrew Clennell is with him and just out the front of the White House. Andrew, a big few days for the Prime Minister, but really the timing, it's come at a time of great uncertainty globally, hasn't it, his talks with President Biden?
Yeah, in a way, it's kind of, as terrible as the events are, Kieran, it's fortunate timing for the Prime Minister because it's an important time to be abreast of what America's doing at the moment and to ensure that they keep their presence and interest in the Indo-Pacific up while the Middle East war's raging. So, and also with the China trip, obviously. I mean, it's less than a fortnight now until Anthony Albanese goes to see President Xi Jinping. And surely he'll be talking to Biden, to Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, to Lloyd Austin, the Defence Secretary, to Kamala Harris, the Vice President, and other officials in America about what message to take to China, what to watch out for in terms of those talks. Two world powers in a fortnight for the Prime Minister. He made some brief remarks, Kieran, just a short time ago. We'll play to you now.
The United States relationship with Australia is our most important. The first pillar, of course, is our defence relationship, making sure that the AUKUS arrangements are put in place and talking with Congress and Senate about the legislation that's required to turn this vision into a practical reality. It will be a very important visit that comes at a turbulent time for the world. But the good thing about Australia and the United States is the strength of the relationship means it provides that stability, that security, and that comfort with each other that comes from our common values.
So, Kieran, we know Congress hasn't been able to give Joe Biden a speaker. They've also been threatening to hold up the legislation which would underpin the AUKUS nuclear submarine agreement with Australia going ahead. Anthony Albanese will be meeting various congressmen, encouraging them to assist that to go ahead. And there's some hope with that, with Joe Biden's $105 billion legislation proposed for the Middle East war and Ukraine. Inside that's $3 billion for developing the defence industrial capability of America, which could get Republicans over the line on the AUKUS deal. So that's a key focus of the trip. The state dinner's a big deal as well. I mean, the meeting in the Oval Office, the press conference, joint press conference, is Thursday Australian time. It is Wednesday American time, and the state dinner, of course. And a lot of speculation about some pretty big Australian names could be at that dinner. They're being very, very tight-lipped about it, Australian officials, that they really feel it's the White House's information to release. Don't want to say people's on the list until they actually turn up. But I've heard from a Canberra source that Taryn Brumfitt, who was the Australian of the Year, a body image champion, is one guest. I've heard other business and sport leader names. No doubt we'll try to speak to some of these people on Thursday Australian time. But an important meeting for Anthony Albanese, and timely in a sense that Australia is recognised by America at this time.